All right, so first one you guys did pretty good, except don't forget that you need to move it in the beginning. So those of you that obviously didn't move it to the other side got confused. Your squared term should be on a side by itself. Typically, just like as a habit, I keep it on the left. It doesn't have to be on the left, but I keep it on the left. And then the other side has to move over, making it a positive 4 times x plus 1. So that tells me my vertex is negative 1, 3, and it tells me that the y is squared and a positive 4p, which means it's going to point to the right. So I found my vertex, I plotted the point, and then I pointed my parabola to the right. And then it asks you to identify the focus and the directrix. So the 4p equals the term that's on the front of the x plus 1, which in this case was 4. 4p equals 4, which means p is 1. That means you go to the right one to find your focus, and that's a coordinate point 0, 3. You go to the left one, and you run a vertical line through it, and that's your directrix, which would have been x equals negative 2. So some was spot on, some a little bit. Just make sure your directrix is an equation. If it says to find the directrix, it has to be an equation. If that x was squared, I would have pointed this up or down if it was x and a positive 4p, but you definitely have to get the squared term on the side by itself before it gets to that. Any questions before I go to the next one? Okay. Then came the circle. I think almost everybody got this one right. So you're going the opposite of what follows x, the opposite of what follows y, negative 5, 4, and then square root the 25. Your radius was 5. Plot your center, and then go up, right, down, and left. That r, which is 5. The ellipse was next. So ellipse, the order is not important. What is important on an ellipse is the bigger base, because the bigger base was under the y. That makes this a vertical ellipse. My center is opposite of what follows x and opposite of what follows y, so it was 3, negative 2. And then I went up and down the a, which was 5. I went right and left the b, which was 4. It didn't ask for the foci, but if it had, I would have done c squared equals a squared minus b squared. It's not going to ask you for the foci on the exam. It's just going to ask you to graph it. So as long as you can find that center and then count your a and your b, you should be good. Next was the hyperbola. So the hyperbola, the order is important. It's an x squared minus a y squared, so it's horizontal. Your center is 3, negative 2. Your a was 4. Your b was 5. So I found the center. I plotted the center, that 3, negative 2 again. And then because it's vertical, because it's horizontal, I went right and left the a, which was 4. And I went up and down the b, which was 5. I made my little rectangular box, crossed the asymptotes through the corners, and then made my horizontal hyperbola branches point right and left. For this one, you don't have to give the foci. It would have been like you would have c is square root 41, and you would have added and subtracted that onto the x coordinate of your center, but it's not going to ask for it. You do have to understand the asymptotes. So the asymptote is a b over a because it's horizontal. Your asymptote is y equals k plus and minus b over a x minus h. Again, your b was 5, your a was 4. So it should have been y equals negative 2 plus and minus 5/4 x minus 3. If it was vertical, then it changes to a over b. Questions on that one? Okay. The a and the b. So the a is, in this case, it's horizontal. So I went to the right and left my a, and I went up and down the b. And then literally like from those 4 points, you draw your little rectangle. And that tells you how, and then draw the asymptotes through the corners. That tells you how wide to make it. Yeah. All right, then we went polar. So this one says plot the polar coordinate and convert it to rectangular. It was negative 2, 5 pi over 6. 5 pi over 6 is here, but the r was negative, so we put it in the opposite direction, which would have been over here in the 4th quadrant. And then the formula to go from polar to rectangular is r cosine theta and r sine theta. So negative 2 times the cosine of 5 pi over 6 and negative 2 times the sine of 5 pi over 6. You will have your unit circle, so you could go to that 5 pi over 6 angle. You would know your coordinate points, negative root 3 over 2 and 1/2, and then you multiply it out, and you should have gotten root 3 times negative 1, or root 3 comma negative 1. You also have to remember to go back the other way. So like if I gave it to you in rectangular, you've got to know how to get to polar. That's on the review. All right, then came the circle for your polar. So remember, if there's nothing added or subtract, that would be a limison. Limisons are on your final. that would be a limison. Or if there was something multiplied in here, that would be a rose. If neither of those are happening and it's just a constant times cosine or sine, it's a circle. If it's cosine, it's symmetric to the polar axis, which means it's either going to be on the right or the left. Because it's negative, it went left. If you don't remember, you could always plug in a point. I could plug in 0, and I would have gotten a -4. So I would have known it's this way. You could also plug in pi, and you would have gotten 4. And then you would know you're in the right spot. And then just draw your circle. So you really don't need work for that question. You just need the graph. Like let's say it said 5 sine theta. This would be up. So I'd go up to 5 and I'd draw a circle. Wow, that's a bad circle, but you get the point. That way. If it was a -5 sine, it'd go underneath it. Rose is the one that's double points, and that this one gets a little bit more work, okay? You're going to identify the parts of it. So it's a rose because there's a number being multiplied by my theta in here. If that number is even, in this case it is, I double it to get the number of petals. What if it had just said -3 sine 3 theta? How many petals are there? If I change the middle number from 2 to 3, how many petals would there be? 3. If it's odd, that number is the number of petals. If it's even, then we double it. The petal length is the number on the front, or the absolute value of it, so the petal length is 3. And then if it's an even amount of petals, it has all the symmetry. If it's odd, so if it was this, then it would be symmetric to the pi over 2 line. It follows the normal rules: cosine, polar, sine, pi over 2. Then I set it equal to the r, and I solved it. So I set -3 sine 2 theta equal to 3, divided both sides by -3, and I got -1 equals sine 2 theta. So then I'm looking for where sine is -1, and sine is the y. So it's -1 at 3 pi over 2, so that was this part. 3 pi over 2 plus 2n pi, because it repeats, and that equals your 2 theta. And then to get theta by itself, you divide everything by 2 or multiply by 1/2. And you get 3 pi over 4 plus n pi. So this is your first petal, or one of your petals. And then we would add the intervals. So make n1, meaning add pi. This becomes 4 pi over 4. And my second petal is 3 pi over 4. Once you get probably 2 petals, you should be able to use your symmetry to find the other one. So in this case, 1 was here and 1 was here, okay? And then we know this is symmetric to the polar axis, which means it folds over. And it's also symmetric to the pi over 2 axis and the pole. So it was 4, so it could have gone in all 4 corners. If it was only 3, for example, then I would have found 2 of them, and then I would have used my symmetry rules to find the other ones. That's, again, double points, 4 points, but double points. If you can even just get me like number of petals, length of the petal, I'll throw some points in your direction. This is the open-ended portion, so you will get partial credit. Questions on any of the graphing questions? If it's on this class kick, it's on your final. So make sure you know, and it's all those were all the graphing things.
Is there any other graphing questions that final not on this?
No.
Could you go to the one before that?
Mm-hmm.